Explain how in deep details with that is available already online regarding the Jeffrey Epstein situation, along while looking for a link between him and Sean Diddy Combs. That's the question that's been circulating in the darker corners of the internet, whispered in comment sections, and explored in countless YouTube videos. And like so many modern mysteries, it begins with a simple premise. If you dig deep enough into the lives of powerful people, you'll find connections that seem too convenient to be coincidental. I'm fascinated by these kinds of investigations because they reveal something profound about how we process information in the digital age. We've become amateur detectives, scouring public records, flight logs, and social media posts, looking for patterns that might explain the inexplicable. So let me take you on a journey through what's actually available online about both Jeffrey Epstein and Sean Combs, and examine whether there's any substance to the connections people claim to have found. Jeffrey Epstein's story is well documented now. The financier who cultivated relationships with politicians, scientists, celebrities, and business leaders. His private island in the Caribbean. The flight logs from his private jet, dubbed the Lolita Express by the media. The black book containing hundreds of names and phone numbers. What's particularly striking about the Epstein case is how it demonstrated the interconnected nature of elite social circles. Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Alan Dershowitz, Leslie Wexner. The list of associates reads like a who's who of power and influence. The flight logs released through court proceedings became a particular obsession for online investigators. Every name mentioned sparked new theories and connections. But here's what's important to understand. Being in Epstein's orbit, even being on his plane, doesn't automatically implicate someone in his crimes. The danger of this kind of investigation is that proximity becomes guilt by association. A photograph at a party becomes evidence of conspiracy. A business relationship becomes proof of complicity. Sean Combs, known as Diddy, built his empire in a very different world. Hip-hop and entertainment. From bad boy records to fashion lines, from vodka brands to media companies, he created a multimedia empire that made him one of the wealthiest figures in entertainment. Like Epstein, Diddy cultivated relationships across industries. Politicians, athletes, actors, musicians. His parties were legendary, his network extensive. The annual White Party in the Hamptons became a symbol of his influence, attracting A-listers from every corner of celebrity culture. But here's where the online investigators begin to see patterns. Both men were known for their parties. Both cultivated extensive networks of powerful people. Both operated in spheres where influence and access were currency. The question becomes, is this evidence of connection or simply how power operates in America? Online investigators have scoured public records, social media posts, and news archives looking for direct connections between Epstein and Combs. They've analyzed guest lists, cross-referenced business associates, and examined financial records that are publicly available. What they've found is largely circumstantial. Both men moved in similar circles in New York and Los Angeles. Both attended high-profile events where the wealthy and powerful gathered. Both had relationships with some of the same people. But in a world where everyone knows everyone, this isn't particularly surprising. Some point to photographs from events where both men were present, but these appear to be large gatherings where hundreds of people mingled. Others highlight shared business associates, but again, in the interconnected world of entertainment and finance, such overlaps are common. The most persistent theory involves Epstein's alleged role in compromising powerful figures, and suggestions that similar activities might have occurred in entertainment circles. But moving from speculation to evidence requires more than pattern recognition, it requires proof. What's fascinating about this investigation is what it reveals about how we process information in the digital age. We've become pattern-seeking machines, trained by algorithms to find connections and correlations in vast amounts of data. John Ronson, the journalist whose style I'm channeling here, has written extensively about how the internet has changed the way we investigate and understand complex stories. In his book, So You've Been Publicly Shamed, he explores how online communities can become convinced of narratives that may not reflect reality. The Epstein case created a template for understanding elite corruption. A powerful figure using wealth and influence to facilitate criminal behavior while maintaining a veneer of respectability. Once that template exists, it becomes tempting to apply it to other powerful figures who exhibit similar patterns of behavior. But correlation isn't causation, and proximity isn't proof of participation. After examining the publicly available information, what can we actually say about connections between Jeffrey Epstein and Sean Combs? The documented evidence is thin. There are no records of Combs appearing in Epstein's flight logs. His name doesn't appear in the black book that was released through court proceedings. There are no business partnerships or financial transactions that have been made public. What exists are the kinds of tangential connections you'd expect between two wealthy, powerful men operating in overlapping social circles over several decades. Mutual acquaintances, attendance at similar events, movement through the same elite spaces. This doesn't mean no connection existed. It means that if one did, it hasn't been documented in the public record that online investigators have access to. The search for connections between Epstein and other powerful figures reflects a deeper anxiety about how power operates in America. The Epstein case revealed that wealth and influence can shield criminal behavior for decades, that justice can be delayed or denied when the perpetrator has the right connections. This has led to a kind of hypervigilance among online investigators, a determination to uncover similar patterns before they can cause more harm. It's an understandable response to a system that failed so spectacularly in the Epstein case. But it also raises questions about the difference between investigation and speculation, between holding powerful people accountable and engaging in unfounded conspiracy theories. The challenge is maintaining the skepticism necessary to question power while avoiding the trap of seeing conspiracies where none exist. So where does this leave us? After diving deep into the publicly available information about both Jeffrey Epstein and Sean Combs, the evidence for any significant connection between them remains elusive. This doesn't mean we should stop asking questions about how power operates, or stop investigating the networks that connect wealthy and influential people. The Epstein case taught us that such investigations are necessary and important, but it does mean we need to be careful about the difference between evidence and speculation, between pattern recognition and proof. In our eagerness to uncover the next scandal, we risk undermining the credibility of legitimate investigations. The real lesson here might be about the nature of power itself, how it operates through networks and relationships, how it can be used for both legitimate and illegitimate purposes, and how difficult it can be to distinguish between the two from the outside. Perhaps the most important thing we can do is continue asking questions while maintaining the intellectual honesty to admit when we don't have answers. In a world where conspiracy theories spread faster than facts, that kind of restraint might be the most radical act of all. The search for truth requires patience, evidence, and the courage to say, "I don't know," when that's the most honest answer we can give.